I was keen to understand the trends, the drivers and the challenges in the travel industry and what our customers are experiencing. I got together with 3 of our experts and this is what we had to say.
What are the key trends affecting the industry right now? In my mind, there are 3 key trends that we're seeing across the industry. One of them is the OTAs, the continued rise of the OTAs. So larger and larger travel agencies, we're seeing consolidation in the industry, driving a lot of change both on the supply chain, but also the ability for travellers to pick their destinations in a different way. The second key trend that I see would be one of automation, increasing automation, and that's driven by artificial intelligence. So the ability for processes that are currently very manual within travel agencies to become fully automated. So freeing up resources internally at travel agencies, driving out cost, but also as a result of that, being able to personalise experiences for customers much more on the back of the intelligence and the computer power that we can bring to bear to the travel experience.
Looking at regulatory changes across the industry, there's a wide range of regulatory change impacting payments as a whole and travel payments specifically. So PSD2 has impacted payment providers across the European region, driving a large range of changes for those participants. In the travel space specifically, restrictions on surcharging around card payments has had a real impact on travel providers. They're now able to surcharge non-regulated cards, but they're not able to surcharge regulated cards. But they often have trouble distinguishing between these two. So that makes the process of surcharging very difficult for them. In other regulatory areas, GDPR has had a big impact on travel providers and how they capture, store and use their consumer data. So it makes their marketing activities far more complicated. Less from central regulators, but from industry bodies, we see developments like IATA's Transparency in Payments, which is driving payment providers in the industry to be far more transparent with their pricing so that airlines can be more discerning in the payment instruments they accept. This is very much an emerging area, so we're watching closely to see what it means for companies like Ixaris.
What are the pain points in travel payments? Probably the 3 most common are foreign exchange fees, overheads of costs of payments, and the cash flow. When it comes to foreign exchange fees, we've got travel companies operating either in one single market or across several markets. So here comes the challenge of travel companies to be able to acquire their cash in the same currency as the currency of the settlement. So travel companies constantly need to be looking for solutions, either special offers with a single forex provider or obtaining special packages from other financial institutions in the market, working with banks and so on. But sometimes this could become a challenge and carry quite a high cost to the business. Cash flow, this is again something that is quite actual for travel companies. Again, there is a time delay between obtaining the payment from the traveler and making a payment to a supplier. And once the booking is made, usually, especially when it comes to flight tickets, the travel company needs to settle the payment with the merchant. But then it's not necessary that they will be able to receive payment in full from their client. This is where credit becomes a very important facility to have.
So what opportunities are there to address these pain points? In my mind, a travel company needs to look at all the different payments that it's doing and to try and find one supplier, or particularly one system that processes all the different payments with a single point of contact. So for me, it's around looking at credit card payments, banking payments, blockchain payments down the line. And is there one platform, one system that you can drive all the different types of payments through and have the best kind of routing that optimizes for the different payments that you're making?
Does the travel industry give enough attention to payments? In my view, I think they certainly give it attention. And this is different on the buy side and the supply side. On the buyer side, for online travel agencies, their margins are incredibly thin. So focusing on taking cost out of their processes is critical to them. And payments can form a significant cost within those OTA processes. So looking at how they can optimize payment processes, take out transactional costs, take out manual reconciliation costs, remove FX costs it's critical for them to really optimise that process to be as competitive as they can in an increasingly competitive market. Moving across to the supply side, the suppliers are starting to become increasingly focused on the cost of payment acceptance within their industries. This is certainly true in the airline space, where we see lots of activity in focusing on reducing payment costs. But we also start to see these trends emerging in other segments of the travel industry. So we think that optimization of costs for the buyer and the supplier is going to be critical in the process going forward, and that solutions need to address both sides of the value chain. At Ixaris, we're completely focused on optimizing B2B payments, specifically in the travel industry. We look at trying to find the edge to take cost out of payment processes, whether that be minimizing FX costs, minimizing reconciliation costs, or maximizing revenue opportunities across the payment transaction. We focus on delivering bottom line benefits to our customers. That's saving them money, delivering revenue, and typically we look to make a 26% contribution towards their bottom line.